Today we're here with Mark Parkinson, President and CEO of the American Healthcare Association and the National Center for Assisted Living. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Debbie. Glad to be here.
You recently noticed that this year's congressional briefing might be the most important one in the history of AHCA and NCAL. What makes this year's event so important?
Well, the timing could not be better. Here we are in early June. Our comment period on our payment rule ends on June 10th, about a week from now. CMS will make the decision on our payment rule over the next 30 to 60 days. And so we've got over 500 members in town that will visit literally every congressional office up on Capitol Hill over the next 2 days, talking to them about the importance of continued funding for us. And so I think as it relates to the payment rule, the timing is perfect. The timing is also really good just to get our message out about COVID in general. You know, we got a lot of help early on, but as time has gone on, I think that the policymakers have kind of forgotten about us a little bit. We need to remind them of the work that we're doing every single day in our buildings, and so it's great to have people in town to do that.
Wonderful. Communication, so critical. Now, in your role, you keep communication channels open with members and state affiliates. What are you hearing from these organizations regarding the state of long-term and post-acute care?
It's really tough right now. You know, if you go back to 2020 when the pandemic started, we were fighting for the lives of our residents. On the business side, we were getting a good amount of help from the federal government. And so we were really able to focus on just keeping our residents healthy and alive. In 2021, and certainly in 2022, the clinical side is a lot better. Some of our residents are getting COVID, but not in high numbers, and those that are for the most part recovering. We're not fighting so much for the lives of our residents now as we're fighting for the lives of our businesses. We continue to experience a significant reduction in census. We continue to experience an unbelievable increase in labor cost. And you add those two things together, and I think this is the toughest time on the business side in the history of the sector.
Absolutely. The workforce issues are so intense right now. Now, being a former governor, you understand the limited time that elected officials have to meet with constituents. What can members and advocates do for the industry to make a difference when talking with our elected officials?
Yeah, I think when you talk to an elected official or even a staffer for an elected official, you have to understand that they've got 1,000 things on their mind. They're getting pulled in all sorts of different directions. So you really need to value every minute that you have. And it's always the most effective to tell a personal story, to not talk so much about our margin or in big numbers, but instead to talk about a specific resident and maybe a story about how an employee's gone to some extraordinary effort for a particular resident or a particular employee who maybe worked double shifts for 2 months in a row. The more it can be personalized to what's actually happening in the building, those are things that people can remember.
Absolutely. Personal stories so important on drawing people in. What do you hope that AHCA and NCAL members gain from this congressional briefing event? And then on the other side, what do you hope that members of Congress do as a result of this event?
Well, I hope that everybody that comes here leaves with the feeling that they're not alone. You know, when you're running a building, and Stacy and I had this many times, particularly during tough times, you feel like you are alone, and there isn't anybody out there supporting you and providing help. Our members are not alone. The other providers care about them, the vendor partners care about them, and at AHCA, NCAL, and our state execs, we certainly care about them. So I want them to understand they are part of a big family of people that are here to help and support them. For the policymakers, the members up on the Hill, I just want them to acknowledge that our folks are the heroes. The action that they have taken over the last 2.5 years have saved thousands, maybe tens of thousands of lives. The unfair criticism that we've received is harmful and in some respects cruel. And I think that the more that we can explain to members of Congress what's really happened in buildings, the better chance we have of getting the recognition that our members deserve.
Yes, getting them to see the community and the amazing work that AHCA and NCAL does together.
Right.
Well, thank you very much for spending some time with us today.
That'd be great. It's been fun.